Welcome back. Jennie Malafarina is a B2B marketing executive with 12 years driving demand generation, go to market strategy, and pipeline growth for tech companies. She's the founder of Virago Marketing. She built the marketing engine behind 10 SaaS and tech brands. She's also started communities and in real life events. So, this is a fun bridge episode for everybody. Welcome to the show, Jennie.
Thank you, Chelsey.
I am pumped to talk with you because I was like, who can I have that knows these two topics? You are the perfect person who knows AI and growth strategies using AI. And also, people want to buy from people. How do we have real human activities?
Yeah. I'm excited about this one. This one is a good one.
I mean, you've talked about using AI to do more of the operational heavy lifting behind the scenes. How did you get started using AI?
AI, well, I probably started like everybody else, right? ChatGPT. And then the best thing is ChatGPT teaches you how to use ChatGPT, right?
Mhm.
So building like my own little GPTs for clients, for prompt engineering, then they brought out projects. And then I love Claude for writing, Perplexity for research, Grok for things that are like social. So I was using those at a very surface level. But it was just recently, and it seems like this flipped the switch for everyone. Right before Claude Cowork came out, I started seeing, well, I wouldn't say right before, I guess this goes back to last year. I started thinking about like, how do I automate my business? And so I was learning N8N, which automates things and you can integrate with the LLMs. So I was like fascinated by this, but not tech savvy at all. I even outsourced some builds just to like learn how it worked and see how to build these. I joined courses, I get templates and like reverse engineer so that I could learn. But at the end of the day, I was still like struggling to get to that like last 10 to 20% of having a final complete project. And then I saw Open Cloud. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I asked my son, I was like, can you build this for me? Because like you got to use Homebrew and Linux and like all these things to just like kind of get the terminal to have like the interface. So, and then connect it to Telegram. So he did like that infrastructure for me. But now I have a agent. His name is Brochacho, and I named him, which I just love it. It's just playful and fun, so I kept it. But he's like my right hand guy. He's got access to all my things. Like he's in my Google Drive, he's in my email, he's got my Appify, he's got my Apollo, he's like, you name it, anything that I have access to that has an API. Now I have my Brochacho in it and he can execute within it. So I love that. And remember a long time ago, we had a WILMA call and we were talking about how do we get this list of, people from this list of companies that was on I won't say it, a trade show's website, and because they weren't giving the list out, right? And so we had this whole conversation, and then Maria pulled through for us. But I recently learned that I could use Appify to web scrape. And so I do that through Brochacho, and like I can get the domains, then I can enrich it with people that are like an ICP fit. And it's like, it's a game changer because it used to be you had a list and you couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
So Brochacho's my right hand. I work with him every day. But now Claude Cowork is really cool because I have a client that wants to do like a maturity matrix. And all of a sudden I could build an app by vibe coding. Like, oh, I want it to look like this. I wanted to do this. These are the questions. I want this kind of analysis. And it's just super smart. So I can pop up websites and apps like that, which is a game changer because now you've got this interactive, integrated, tool that you can offer that's not your typical content of like a blog and a white paper and stuff like that. So it's a game changer. The next thing I want to explore is Perplexity Computer. I think it's very similar, but they're like, it just does things when you're not there. And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm like, I love this. Somebody said AFK, and I'm like, what does that mean? They're like, away from the keyboard. And I was like, I'm not familiar with this terminology. And they're like, that's what they say on Discord. I'm like, I'm also not familiar with this.
since you started moving from just chat to, okay, let me see what else I can do, has it been like a 6-month journey, a year journey for you? Longer?
So when OpenClaw and Cowork and Perplexity Computer came out, it was like an overnight kind of a whole new world because now you're not just doing LLMs and LMs and building automation. You've got this agentic system. You can actually be like, you could create cron jobs where you're like, every Tuesday at 3 p.m., I want you to do this, that, and this, right? And like, so that was a huge game changer in terms of how I use AI. I've been leveraging AI probably, since I consider myself like an early adopter. So since ChatGPT kind of came out in terms of brainstorming and writing and things like that. But it gets better every day. Functionality and improvements and the connectors are just huge. It's just a huge game changer. And you can like integrate into your HubSpot and ask it questions about your HubSpot and stuff like that. I should mention, you were like, can I announce anything for you? I have a product called Cami coming out sometime this year, right? But it stands for a Chat Agent Marketing Manager interface. And it is an AI. Cami's intended to be the personification of your marketing manager. So she is like that in-house, one team, no marketing team person that can help build your strategy and execute and be that agentic system if you're not, used to like coding or you don't want the upkeep of those sorts of things. But Cloud Cowork and yeah, it's a game changer. Definitely competes with Cami for sure.
So we were on a call 4 weeks ago at this point, maybe. I don't know, the last WILMA call. And we'll talk about WILMA later. But you showed us behind the scenes what you've built. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, and you and Ava were like, "Oh yeah, this, and this." Everybody else in the call, I'm not knocking us because I was in this group too. We were all like, "What the what? We are 5 years behind you." Is there hope that I can get caught up in say 6 months, that I can understand this stuff, start building with this stuff? Yeah?
You know what? Yeah, you know what's so great about it is one, you don't need to build. Like
Okay.
open cloud, you don't need. I would go to Cloud Cowork. The only thing I would say about Cloud Cowork that I find so frustrating is the bandwidth. Like you run out of tasks, you only get so much bandwidth for 5 hours and then it resets. Like
Mm.
I'm out of bandwidth until like next week. That's
Cool
the
your
only
jet.
frustrating. But what is so great about these solutions is you just talk to it in normal language. You don't have to know JSON, you don't have to know code. And then even troubleshooting, you can be like, fix yourself, and it fixes itself. Like you don't have to know anything tech wise. You just have to go.
Okay. All right. It's intimidating if you're just like someone, I'm just in the chat phase now saying, okay, how do I get
Well,
into
what's the
agentic?
worst outcome?
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst outcome? You get an output that you don't like?
Yeah. I just saw someone vibe code an ROI calculator app this morning. He's like, look at
I'm
this,
gonna do one. I'm gonna do one next week.
right? How much did that used to cost as a marketer to get another
Well,
company to come
you'd
build
have to find a tool, you'd have to have a developer, you'd have to figure out the formula. Like now I could just be like, "Hey, here's a recording conversation with a product team talking about how this, functions in terms of inputs and outputs." And now I can just take that recording and say, "Hey, I want an ROI calculator that leverages all these things." And then I want you to build it. And here's the branding.
it.
Here's the logo, here's the colors, and then you get a beautiful little app that functions in 30 minutes.
I mean, game changer.
Yeah.
I always get overwhelmed when I talk about AI, but I'm excited, but it's a good overwhelm. How do you scale content and use AI in your marketing without losing quality? So without creating sloppy crap?
Yeah. So Aaron Huff is on our team and he is our chief content strategist and he needs to like see all the content, right? So it's really great for brainstorming. It's great for getting an outline. He will then formulate it. But then I have an agent that is focused on SEO. And so I can work with it to be like, okay, I want to optimize on this keyword. Where can I add this keyword in here? How can I optimize to show up in AI? Like what should my meta description be, like all these things that like are really important but aren't like the core of the blog, right? Because the content You still want it to sound authentic and in brand and not AI generated, right? Like it screams AI sometimes and you don't want that, but you still want to leverage AI so that you get, you know, a good output but not sound AI.
How do you use AI to improve campaign performance and when a new product's coming out, speed to market?
Yeah. So I'd say campaign wise, there's a lot of functionality and integrations available that make, and they're all leveraging AI, right? AI is everywhere, regardless if you realize you're using it or not. It's just to what, regard are you using it? So I would say, like, I'm working on this product launch. And so we're launching the solution. We're trying to find prospects in this specific area. And we're leveraging intent and visibility that's showing up through AI channels to see who's on the website, who's searching for the solution or similar solutions. One of my new favorite tools is actually telling me who's engaging with like my prospects or talking about my industry or kind of services, not my services, but marketing in general or demand generation within my industry on LinkedIn,
So you can see,
which is really
are they looking and engaging with other marketing posts or other marketing
yeah,
companies? Very cool.
yeah, yeah.
That was a great segue to what are some of the tools that have untapped, what are some of the tools you're using hands on with your team that's changed how you work?
So I guess secrets, I'll put the secret out there. My new favorite tool is Goji Berry, and that is what I'm using to have automate LinkedIn connections. It is identifying who I should connect with based on my agents that I built in there. That is like, I want to find people similar to this person. I want to find people engaging with my competitors. I want to find people engaging with these influencers. Like I've got like these 14 like criteria that's like, hey, if people do these things, they visit my profile, they do this, whatever, I want to connect with them. And then it this sounds bad, creates a message. It creates a message based on what they're posting about so that when it like follows up, it sounds like me talking to them in a very conversational way that may or may not be me. So
Who knows? She's
we don't know.
AFK.
AFK. She's
She's
working, but she's AFK.
Oh my gosh. So where do you think AI has the most untapped potential in B2B demand gen? What am
Oh my
I
God.
missing in demand gen that I should be using AI for?
So I really think the way things are going and what people need to be thinking about is building systems. And systems means integrations and visibility. So my OpenClaw, I talked about all my integrations. I can integrate to my HubSpot. I can integrate to my Apollo. I can integrate to my LinkedIn. I can integrate to my Agent. Everything is integrated. And all you have to do is have an API for this. Now you have this flow. Now you can leverage intent and draft messages from yourself, send them out, measure what's happening. Like, I think it's all in the integration and communication of the systems. That's where things are going because what's the like statistic? 88% of people aren't in market. So then like how do you find those who are in market? You have those intent signals, but you want to do things still at scale. So now you're like crafting these messages, meeting them where they're at, right person, right message, right time. So you're putting all those together and building a system that can automate a lot of that or help build a lot of the components so that you can do things. You could personalize a whole website for them, like, build an app and say, hey, I built this for you in 30 seconds, right? But you could do so much more. And when your systems are connected and communicating, your pipeline's going to grow for sure.
What is one thing that AI cannot replace in sales and marketing?
It's this. Like, you're not going to talk to my AI and have a face to face conversation, right?
I don't know. Hold up 3 fingers. Prove you're a human. Put it in front of your face. Have you seen this video?
I have not seen that, but I heard something where every family should talk to their, have a little family meeting and say, if I call you and I ask you for something and you're like, that's a weird request, ask me for the keyword and create a keyword, because your identity can be stolen or recreated so easily now, right? Going into a trade show, I was getting calls about wanting to meet at their booth and stuff like that. And it sounds like a person.
Hmm.
And the only thing that I was like, okay, this can't be a person, is because they were like calling me and I wasn't the right fit for them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you didn't scrub the list. Like, you don't actually know who you're talking to. Are you sure you want to meet
Me?
me? I'm not a broker, but okay. But it sounds like a person. It sounds like a person, and you could do videos that look and sound like you. So that technology is out there and it's very easy to recreate these. So, having these conversations now, which is so weird to think, have these conversations with your family to make sure you can like have some kind of confirmation process in place that you're like a real person, asking them to send to a MoneyGram
Yeah.
thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Should we do it for businesses too?
I think the cybersecurity side of things is going to blow up. Yes. Because so my son is in cybersecurity and he has a job that requires that he learns how to do these things. And do you know how he's learning how to do these things? AI. And
AI
if my
teaching
son
him?
can learn how to do these things, then anybody can learn how to do these things.
Mm. Hmm. Okay. I did hear a
It is a
story.
lot more like, I don't know, apparent.
You don't have to be a criminal mastermind to scam people anymore.
Yeah.
There was a
Yeah.
story of this company that's like a finance company. It's 2 years old, but this guy shows up to a conference call and there were four other people on the conference call. It was like a Teams call like this. And the people on the call were the faces of the CFO and other people from the company. The voices were the same. And they were like, okay, after this call, you're going to do this and you got to wire 25 million to such and such. It was all a deep fake.
My
All a deep
God.
fake. And this was 2 years ago. Imagine how good it's gotten now. So like he just was like, or I don't know if it was a he or she, but that's
It's
the
insane.
employee was following the directions of the CFO and was like, I guess I'm wiring 25 million to this company they told me to wire it to.
That's insane. But you know what? Okay, so this happened the other day. My controller got an email of a thread of me talking to another company about being late on paying them. Now, they sent it to him, like from me, and says like pay this or whatever, and he thankfully sent it back to me and said like, hey, is this approved? And I was like, I have no idea what this is. And he's like, but you sent it to me. And I was like, no. And so I was like, send me the email. They use a spoof email that was very, very close to mine. And so it looked like there was a thread conversation talking about like being behind on an invoice, and I'll get that paid up and send it to my controller. Sent to the controller. He's like, is this approved? Because it was like an amount that I would not normally spend without like having a conversation first. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so glad I asked, because I was about to pay this $44,000 invoice. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. Yes, they're getting really, really good. And it's really scary. Like, now that my son is in like the cybersecurity stuff, he shows me things and things that he builds to like pen test and test like his clients and stuff. It'll be like a login page for like Huntington Bank that looks just like Huntington. So he could send an email that says like, hey, you need to verify this spend or whatever. They log into his page. Now he has their password. And it is so scary. It looks so real. And you have to be paying attention to every little detail to figure out that that's not like huntingtonbank.com or whatever. It might just be like, I don't know, because they spoof it all.
Here's
They
a
spoof it
question.
all. And all once you click that link, enter, they got your passwords, they can access your computer. Like, it is crazy. And
Oh, I'm like, "Ah."
for businesses, it's
It's
scary,
it's
because
scary.
all it takes is one person to be vulnerable and they can get access to the whole network.
Now, not just because they're scamming us, but I kind of get pissed at these people because they're going to make it so that even more guardrails and blockers come in place so that cold outreach becomes harder. It's already so impossible to get into
Did
somebody's
you see the
inbox.
latest HubSpot update on this? So I don't even know where you go to do this. You can go unsubscribe to all of like HubSpot's database, which means anybody that has you in their database, you could say you cannot email me anymore.
It's like a do not call list that actually works. Do you remember
Yeah.
that? Like the no call list nationwide? No, it never
You
worked.
could join that all day and they still call you, didn't they?
Yeah.
Until they couldn't call cell phones and now nobody has house phones and we all got cell phones and they can't.
And now the cell phones, I was just researching this last week. So the cell phones now have the iOS 26 on iPhone blocks. You have to say, it'll say, hey, who is this? And why are you calling? Right. So all those robocallers aren't going to have a way to answer. So even people who are using those auto dialers, I just confirmed this yesterday. Like if you're using a speed dialer or auto dialer, power dialer, whatever you call it, like you might not even be getting to the phone yet. It might just
That's funny. It's so cyclical. We create this new technology that helps you do something, and then somebody creates this new technology that helps prevent from that, and then
yeah.
you create new technology to go around it. Like, that's so funny now that you say like the power dollars and then the emails and house phones and then cell phones and business phones. Like, how do we figure out how to get through?
It's a cat and mouse game. It's like, ooh, I figured out how to get around it. And they're like, I'm gonna use the same technology to block you. It's
Right.
AI blocking AI right now, which is
Oh,
hilarious.
yeah. Yeah.
Which is another great segue into the human side of things.
Yes.
Why is in real life marketing, events, experiences, clubs, communities, why is that so important now?
Well, so I think people should leverage AI, like they should bring it in where it makes sense to make them more effective and more efficient, more productive, and all of those things. And that frees you up to do the things that humans need to do. And that's to build the relationships, make the connections, have the conversations. You and I did not build this relationship through our AI bots.
Hmm.
You come to WILMA calls, we meet at trade shows, we meet at the same events, we run in the same circles. Like, that's what's actually going to drive conversations. There are things that AI can do and there's things that it can't. And at the end of the day, it's not going to build the relationships and make the connections like we do that we need the humans to do, which is why, I kind of seen this writing on the wall years ago. And I'm like, let's start freight movement. And freight movement brings people in all aspects of logistics together, not just at the local level, but at the big events. When we do the local events, it's bringing people in that area together from the industry because COVID, everybody worked from home. Nobody was in the office. Nobody was mixing and mingling, right? So, having that event brings everybody together: drivers, dispatchers, tech providers, brokers, shippers, anybody, within the supply chain. Um, and I think that's so important because not everybody has the title, the budget, or the time to go to the larger events. So it's like, how else do you connect with people in your industry at the local level? And then we do it at the larger events because everybody's coming together and they want to get together and have experiences and make memories and have conversations. We just did an event at Manifest and I think we had 500 plus people. It was it was 1920s. I know you missed it, Chelsey.
I know.
It was 1920s themed. I was dressed head to toe. It was just so much fun. We had like a photographer, we made major announcements, people were dancing, singing, talking, drinking, like just all the things, having a good time. But what's even more important is like business was happening too. Because I mean, inadvertently, like we do these because we do it under the umbrella of freight movement that's like, hey, this is about community within the industry. But it also puts your prospects in the room. It puts your potential partners in the room. It puts your potential integration partners, investors, all these people in the same room, and inadvertently business happens.
Yes. And this is
And
one
I
of
think it's
the
one of the best lead gen tools. Really is.
And it's such a relationship driven industry, logistics.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what does having this event teach you about how do B2B buyers really make decisions versus how, as digital marketers, we might have thought they made decisions for the past decade?
So, how many B2B companies go to shows and they have plans with to take people out to dinner? They want to meet in the booths. They want to do different experiences, take them to Top Golf, go golfing, all these things, right? Because that's where business happens. Like it is, like you said, it's relationship driven. So you're there, you're in person, you're getting to know each other as people, not just as a business, right? It's not just about the product, but am I working with good people? Are these people that I want to work with? And so you get to experience that and learn that in person, and that drives a lot of closes. A lot of people are like, oh, we go to the show because we get X amount out of it. Okay, well, your AI is not going to the show. Your AI is not taking your prospects out to dinner. Your AI is not doing these experiences. You need a person, and that person needs to communicate the value of the business, communicate their own value and morals, and just like build that relationship so that there's a level of comfort of doing work together, because these are really high value investments. Like if somebody's getting a TMS, they're ripping the heart out of their whole operation and replacing it, right? So these are like high involved, decisions. And I don't think anybody's going to have a level of comfort talking to your AI or talking to your chatbot or anything like that. They want to know that who they're working with has good morals and values and they align with them, that there's going to be a ongoing relationship,
I just
partnership.
when I used to go to shows more back when I was hip, I'm like, don't leave this room now. When I used to go to shows more, it was kind of like I'm going to lose a week of work while I'm at the show. But now I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get this right. Away from keyboard, I'm going to AFK myself so I can keep shit going on at home, whatever I need to do, and just not feel like I have to either front load and work for 3 weeks straight before a show or 3 weeks after show. Like AI is letting you be present and be a human.
Yeah. I mean, so AI has, like brains, has like the memories, the RAG system and stuff like that. So you can train them. You could be like, add your all the blogs you create to it, all the social, like all these things so that it can then reference that when it's like doing other things for you. And I'm not talking about like just your clients. It could be for yourself if you want to automate your social. I still prefer human in the loop. Nothing is going out the door unless that somebody touches it. So I don't it's not ready to be completely autonomous yet, at least in my mind, but it can get so much of the work done for you that like you're not completely losing a week.
How do you measure ROI of in person events, community building? It might not show up cleanly on an attribution report. So, how are you measuring if it worked or not?
So what's really great about what we built with Freight Movement is the anecdotes. People are so happy to tell us how happy they were that they went to our events. And that it's been like, even our sponsors are like, this was great. We had 20 of our prospects in the room. We got that FaceTime with them. And then you're able to attribute that into your pipeline to say, okay, that was a touch point that led to, a win, a close win. So there's that aspect. But when you do a freight movement event like that, there's value for everyone because we're working to get all these people in the room and we want all these diverse people. Because why does a carrier want to go to a TMS event where the TMS team, sales team is just sitting there waiting for you? Like, I got my sales shirt on, there's 20 of us, prospects are here. You know what I'm saying? But when we do a freight movement event, we've got everybody in the room. So then there's value for everyone. Everybody has the opportunity to drive a sale, drive an integration, drive an investment, whatever, their goal is. Putting everybody in that room just creates opportunities for everyone. And anecdotally, a lot of people have been like, oh my God, that was phenomenal. Two of my prospects ended up being in that room. I was able to get some information. We got a meeting scheduled next week. Our sponsors say the same thing. We've had people that are like, oh my gosh, I was able to get an investor at that event. So it's been anecdotal for us, but I mean, I think IRL is necessary.
Mm.
Like if anybody's trying to figure out what they're going to do in 2026, 2027, you should definitely put in-person events, like not just the trade show, but what are you doing alongside the trade show to create these opportunities to have conversations and get to know people, not just as prospects.
When you mentioned the people walking into the meeting and having all the salespeople there, that's what a trade show is. They're walking down the aisle,
Yeah.
like hiding their badge so nobody knows.
Right?
They're like, I don't want people to know what company I'm from because then they're going to attack me and try to win
100.
my business. Yeah. But when you take someone out to dinner or there's a cocktail party as a satellite to that show, then they'll open up and talk to you. Completely different.
Right. I call the expo floor the shark-infested waters. People avoid it like the plague. Like, they do not want nobody wants to be sold to.
Mm-mm.
Nobody wants that. So, I mean, I know at Manifest, there were a lot of companies that had really great results getting pre-scheduled meetings at the events, but they still like, we take those and we compound it and have this event. So we might meet with them and do business, but then we meet with them and provide them dinner or drinks or like, the freight movement experience. And it's just like, it's another touch point. And it's so meaningful because, like I said, it's more about the person and the human and the relationship than it is the sale.
What's one of the hardest things that you found when you're trying to kick off a new community or club? Because you've had a few that have done really well.
So freight movement is going along. And last year we had a lot more events. I think this year is communicating the value without, it's kind of like impressions, right? You know how you do like a banner ad and like all you're going to get is impressions? It's really hard to be like, you're going to have this event and you're going to get 30 leads and 2 close, right? Like, we don't really operate that way. We work to get your prospects in the room, but we're inviting everybody. And sometimes everybody might be competitors.
Mhm.
And so it's like, wait, you want, but it's like the best is going to win, right? The best solution for them, the person who shows up, whatever the case may be. So free movement is not necessarily, we don't have tons of events because we need companies that are focused on the brand awareness as the value, not the direct sales. And a lot
Mhm.
of times CEOs are like, if I spend 10,000, tell me how I'm getting 30,000, right?
Immediately.
It could happen,
Yeah.
but we're like, well, our goal, like, we prefer you don't have salespeople there, right? Because people don't want to be sold to. We want to build relationships. And so you've got to, understand and appreciate that sales approach versus the like, okay, if I spend 10,000, you're like, you might get it, right? But it's not about lead gen. It's not a lead gen event. It's about building connections. You can invite your customers, your partners, your prospects, everybody, but then let the industry at large in so that there's value for everyone. So you just got to appreciate the building community within the industry and know that that's like the end game versus we're going in here and my sales team's going to go attack everybody.
Everyone's gonna leave with a deal. Talk about Wilma a little bit because this might not make you a lot of money, but I love Wilma.
Wilma makes me no money,
Yeah,
but I love it. I
yeah.
love it. So Wilma stands for Women in Logistics Marketing Alliance. It was an idea that I had years ago because when you went to the trade show, if you saw a woman there, she was typically your marketing person. Now, things have changed quite a bit. We're definitely seeing more women these days and in different roles than just marketing. But my whole idea was like, I want a way to connect with these ladies so that when we go to the shows, we have like that friendly face or that connection, like, hey, how's it going? I felt like we were kind of in like a silo of like, oh, I went to the show. I will not tell you how good lead generation is or what I did to get prospects there or how this campaign is performing for me. These, like, that is my secret sauce. And it's like, it's not really secret sauce. It's not really. So I had this idea of just like brain sharing, like, hey, where are you seeing success? What are you doing? What are you trying? What tools are working for you? Like, we're celebrating other success, we're sharing ideas. One lady was like, I'm looking for a job. I'm like, come on, Wilma, tell them, maybe they know. So it's just creating a community of ladies who just want to be supportive and share ideas and help each other be successful. So I love Wilma. There's probably a core There's like a core 6 that always show up. We usually have 13 or 14, but there's like 80 women all together. And it'll just keep growing, and it's like show up when you want, show up when you can, send topics if you want to talk about something, if you want to dissect a campaign, if you want to talk about how are you optimizing for AI, like anything. It's just a great opportunity to bounce ideas off of others, and everybody's willing to kind of engage on that. I love it.
I love it because I've seen a lot of people try to build communities around specifically women, like women in logistics, and try to get money right away or try to monetize it right away. And it's not really, it's not about the community. It's about, I don't know, making $10 a month from someone. I don't know what the point is, but this is like just a baller. Yeah, I'm hip. I say baller.
Baller.
Like a abundance mindset room where everyone's like, I don't need to gatekeep. If your product's better, you're going to win the deal. If my product's better, like that's it. And it's just so refreshing to have the people who are already so few of us in the industry to have there not be internal competition. Like there can only be one woman. It's so cool. So thank you for
Yeah.
building
So,
that.
you know what? I invited all my competitors to that call because it's really about like, what are you doing? Where are you having success? What are some new things to be thinking about? What are tools that are working? How are you leveraging AI? Like all these different things that now you have, because there's a lot of like one person marketing teams, or you know what I'm saying? And like now you have access to other women, and not only that, like we got managers to VPs and CMOs and owners, like, and every now and then we've got salespeople in there and partner people, because I think it all kind of lines up under marketing and stuff. You need to partner with them and provide them collateral and help them have those conversations and be successful. So I just love when everyone comes together and just shares what's going on, what's working, and how you're dealing with stuff. Especially like going to the shows. Did you go to that show? Did you get good leads for brokers? And like, yeah, I did. It was great. Cool. I might go to that show, just kind of sharing some of that stuff that's really not hurting the business. It's not like you're, giving away the secret sauce. It's just
Yeah.
like, did you go to the show? Was it good? Did you have good conversations? How many meetings did you have scheduled? Okay. That sounds like something I should be able to do.
Is it worth $25,000 for a booth?
Yeah.
But this has been so much fun hitting on both the AI side of things. I've got a lot to learn after here and try, and then the human side of things. So thank you
Yeah.
for coming on. And we're
Absolutely.
we're going to link everywhere people can find you and to your podcast on
Oh,
here.
thank you.
We like to wrap with me. What's
Me.
we here in
Or
this
me.
room?
Me.
What's one book or podcast or show that you've been loving lately?
So, I'm torn between book, podcast, or show. It's not I watch trash TV, Chelsey,
Okay.
so it's definitely not a show. I've been watching Unexpected, which is ridiculous. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, even though I have a podcast. Book-wise, the last book I read was actually, it was written by Guthrie. I think her mom was recently taken. Do you know the story? Samantha Guthrie. She's like a newscaster. But so the book is like something about like how God works, and that's really what I like to read, is inspirational things that like just get you thinking differently. So that book is just like, thinking about how things kind of work out and why they work out, and finding out later why they worked out that way, and not everything works out how you want it to work out, and overcoming different obstacles and stuff. I feel like this day and age, I needed some inspiration with everything going on in our industry, in the world, in the government, everything. So it's just like, I don't know.
A little bit of,
It'll all be okay in the end.
yeah, a little bit of hope.
A little bit of hope.
What's one thing that you're working on or trying to learn this year?
It's going to be the AI stuff. It's just continuing to build that out and mastering that. So between OpenClaw, Claude, and Perplexity Computer, automating where I can, where it makes sense, and building with it. I think that's like really cool, is the building with it too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much
I
for
always
coming.
say, yeah, one last thing. I always say we were in this traditional space where everything was in print. And then we went digital, and then there was content marketing, and everybody was doing blogs and case studies and white papers, and every company turned into a content production warehouse, right? And I'm like, what's next? Like I always ask this question, like, what's next? And I thought we were like at like an intelligence kind of thing with like visibility and intent and things like that. And I really think it's what's next is how we're going to leverage AI and like build experience, like virtual experiences and applications and things like that. That's like, we might continue to do blogs for SEO and optimizing for AI. Nobody's reading them. Nobody's reading white papers. But now it'll be creating virtual experiences.
that humans can enjoy and not just LLMs. Cool. I had a blast and I had a lot of learning.
Yeah, I loved it. Thank you for having me on.
Have a fabulous rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.